Hey, Internet. Cheers. Ha. Well, welcome to another episode of Big Biggy's Theory. It's 4:15 in the morning, and I am drunk as hell.
And that's an understatement.
And my friend over there is giving me witty comments about it. So, yeah. But yeah, I wanted to be able to get this out in the open. Today I'm going to be talking about White House Down. Now, in last week's episode, I did say that I wanted to check out both this movie and The Heat. But after talking to myself for countless hours, I decided that I was not going to watch The Heat because, let's face it, I did not want to watch a movie about Sandra Bullock becoming another FBI agent, which could have been easily Miss Congeniality 3. So I decided to skip it. I probably will check this out in the future when it comes out on DVD. I'm sure there's going to be an unrated edition about it, so whatever. Anyway, yeah, White House Down. Or as I like to call it, Olympus Has Fallen 2. Or as I like to call it again, the remake for Die Hard. And I'll talk about that in a little bit, but really, what else can be said about this movie that hasn't been said in countless other action movies? It's another film where a typical guy who wants to be in the Secret Service for the president gets to a situation where terrorists can't come over and take over the White House, and he saves the president and has to protect the president and save his daughter who's in the mix-up and blah 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 blah. You've heard this before. That's really all I can say about it. You can if you've seen as many action movies before in the past, you know exactly what's going to happen with this film. So that really all depends on my theory about it. What did I think about it? Well, I will honestly say that I had a little more fun with this than Olympus Has Fallen. Olympus Has Fallen was more of it was an action movie, but trying to be more dramatic in a way. The thing about it is that I really, again, it's another one of those action movies where you know exactly where it's going to go, you know what's going to happen, but I was trying to be more, dark and serious and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes that could work for movies, but for this one, it was just you could easily figure out what's going on. With this, they were trying to make it more comedic and funny and more Die Hard, which is that's fine, but really there's really nothing else I can talk about it with it. But I wanted to talk about more likely I wanted to say like what this movie really felt like to me, and it felt like a remake of Die Hard. The reason why is because the main character in this, that's played by Channing Tatum, I can't remember his last name, but his first name is John. Now, if you were doing a remake to Die Hard, you would take John, like John McClane, take out the last name and put insert last name here. That's exactly what Channing Tatum's character is. I mean, hell, he even wears like the wife beater white and t-shirt and everything in the middle of the movie, and you can honestly tell that this was made for a Die Hard kind of sequel. And also Jamie Foxx's character as the President of the United States, I had this theory where if they had Samuel L. Jackson as the President of the United States and Bruce Willis as John in this movie, this could have been like a side sequel to Die Hard with a Vengeance. So it's just that weird kind of thing. And also, many of the characters are the same kind of characters you've seen in the first Die Hard movie. Like the main bad guy, I'm not going to give it away because I want people to actually check this out. It's actually not a bad movie, but the main bad guy in this reminds me of Alan Rickman's character in the first Die Hard movie. He was that old guy that was very eccentric, but this time he was a little more crazy than smart. The second in command guy that was in charge of all the mercenaries in the building, in the White House, he once he finds out that one of his friends gets killed, he takes it more personal. Just like the second in command guy from the first Die Hard movie, who took it seriously when John McClane killed his brother. The third one was also the tech savvy guy. In White House Down, it's a nerdy guy that just hacks all of White House mainframe and starts hacking everything in order to. And he has such a big ego of himself that he starts doing like a little video blog in the middle of his hacking, because he's just that full of himself. And again, it reminds me of the guy from the first Die Hard movie where he was just that eccentric about himself. It's the exact same characters, which is why I look at this film as a Die Hard remake. So could that be a bad thing? Not really. Comparing the fact that A Good Day to Die Hard was a piece of shit, and I dare anybody to fucking defend that movie. Seriously, if you thought Live Free or Die Hard was the worst that the franchise can go watch A Good Day to Die Hard and tell me that you're going to defend that movie after watching that, because seriously, I cannot defend that movie, and I'm a Die Hard lover. I love the series, and I cannot defend that, and I cannot defend A Good Day to Die Hard. So, and also, Roland Emmerich really, he did like the biggest no-no for me when it comes to watching this movie. Like during the first act of the film, when they were going through the tour of the White House, the tour guide starts talking about the main of the main hall that was all eccentric and everything, and then he starts saying like it's the same place that blew up in Independence Day. He actually said that. That's the biggest no-no you can do in a movie, is talk about your own movie. Roland, I understand you want to talk. I understand that Independence Day was your biggest hit of your entire career. But when you talk about that in your new movie, in the same place that you've demolished, like possibly 3 or 4 times in your past films, no, you cannot do that. You can't do that. It's like when Michael Bay started showing posters of Bad Boys 2 and Transformers 2. You can't do that. That's the biggest no-no you could do in a movie. But despite all of that, I had fun with it. And I was really going into this movie with low expectations because, like I said, I thought it was going to be Olympus Has Fallen 2. But really, it's not that bad of a movie. I had fun with it. The characters can be likable. They're more realistic in a way. And honestly, I can see some people who are going to be watching this movie thinking of Jamie Foxx's character as the president. I'm sure some of them are going to be thinking that he could be a better president than Obama. Because that's what we all think now. But despite all of that, I actually had some fun with this movie. Is it better than Olympus Has Fallen? A little bit. I can't really say that these movies are the best, and I can't really say that these movies are like the top of the action movie genre. But I think there's a reason why we both had these movies, the same movies in this year. Now, hear me out on this. What if the reason why these movies actually were coming out, Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down, what if these movies were actually a bit of a test for a Bad Dudes movie? Think about it. For those of you who don't know, Bad Dudes was a video game that came out on the NES. Think about if we had Gerard Butler and Channing Tatum together as bad dudes, and they could both save the president. That's the reason why I think these movies were made. So they could do a Bad Dudes movie. They could be bad enough dudes to save the president. I'm that much of a nerd. So, other than that, I had a good time with this movie. If you want to, go check it out. I wouldn't say go see it in the movie theater. Give it a rental if you have to. It's a good rental movie for sure, and I'm sure there's probably going to be an unrated version of the movie that's probably going to show more blood and all that shit. So that's about it. So I'm going to get back to getting some drinks for myself because it's my late birthday. Happy birthday to me. So oh, that's good. So yeah, that's about it. So I will be back, hopefully for an early episode for the Lone Ranger, since I have a couple days off for 4th of July. So yes, until next time, people. This is Big Bingy signing out.